Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Talking Bullion. Well, I picked up some more constitutional silver today. Got another call from my local resource, who hasn't been calling that much lately, but I've heard from him a couple times here recently, so I'm glad I'm still on his list, and I'm glad that we're still getting it for a great price from him. So as you can see here, we got 4 rolls of quarters. It looks like that says Mercury there and Roosevelt there. So he had these, just $50 worth. And then he brought a little extra bag and wanted to know if I was interested in that. I told him before if he had any loose constitutional silver, make sure he brings that along too. So he said that was another $5 worth. I didn't count it. I just trusted him. So you can see here there's I can see 3 SLQs, Standing Liberty Quarters. Those are pretty nice looking Mercury there. Looks like there's a couple Barber dimes in there too. But as most of you know, I don't prefer to buy the SLQs or the Barbers because they're almost always really slicked out and therefore don't have as much silver in them. I mean, it's okay if they come in a little package like this. I can take a couple of them. I can tell you right now, this Barber dime right here is pretty thin. There's not going to be a whole lot of silver on that one. That one too. But that's alright. When you buy constitutional silver, you usually get an assortment of it. And, you know, sometimes you do end up with a few different ones. But it's all part of the process, not part of picking it up. So I'd like to see what's in there. So why don't we go ahead and take a look. Alright, let's pull this aside for a moment. Let's get this opened up. Dumped out of this Ziploc baggie. Okay. And so, why don't we just do the rolls of quarters first, see what's in here, see what kind of condition they're in. I'll probably turn up my my light a little bit, not that much. Alright, maybe that's okay. Camera just likes to jump up on its own. Don't like to go too bright on the light because then the light bounces off the coins. So we'll see. We can readjust it here in a moment if we need to. Let's open up this first roll. It should be Washington's. Usually what's in the rolls. See here. Look pretty good. Drop them down. Let's take a look at them. Oh yeah, look good. A lot of 1964s in there. The 1964s usually have a lot of silver. There's a 54. So that's a pretty nice little pile. As most of you know, a roll of quarters has 40 of them in there. That makes $10. There's $10 in each roll. Let's take a look at another one here. Look at the edges. Looks good to me. Drop them down here. Play with them a little bit. A little bit of tone in on that 1960. I don't see 1960s very often. I don't know if they didn't make a lot of them or what, but let's put it there. Just kind of zoom in on it a little bit. I do not know why my camera's unfocusing tonight. It's kind of strange. There it is, 1960. Kind of cool. Some nice silver here. Let's zoom back out. 90% silver. Pretty cool. So right now we've got 1961. Got $20 face. See how the light's bouncing off this a little bit? Let me pull it down here. See, I just like to, it gets a little dark for everything else, but I just like to be able to see the coins laying there. This looks like kind of an old one. What is this? A 1952. That's cool. There's that 60. Alright, let's take a look at another roll. See what we have in here. And seems to be getting stuck in there tonight. Looks pretty good on the edges. You can see all these are in the same direction, all tails, so that probably means he went through them. Last batch I got, he didn't seem to go through them. Oh, there's a 1939. Camera doesn't seem like the autofocus working. There we go. 1939, not too shabby. It's another toned one. 64. Alright, 53. So we got some decent quarters here. Push them over a little bit. Let's go through our last row. We still have a few more quarters we can look at. And this bag over here. So another roll of them. Set them down. You can see they're all in the same direction. So 1950. It's a nice old one. 1951. So yeah, pretty nice, huh? Some nice Washington quarters. Let's push the pile over a little bit. So we got this light on over here. See how it gives that yellow cast? Let me turn this light off. It should get rid of that yellowing that pops up there. So yeah, that looks a little bit better. Camera's looking a little grainy for some reason though. I could try to turn the light back up a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, one's got a little dirt on it. Not a big deal. So why don't we look at these dimes? Let's look at the Roosevelts first. See what the Rosies look like. Should be in pretty good shape. They usually are. Always make sure, see, one popped out of there. Always make sure those coin holders are empty. Set that down. Look good. Typical Roosevelts. There's a little bit of a wore down 52 in there. It's okay. Looks good to me. Let's fill this gap in there. Alright. Let's look at this roll of Mercuries. You know, I love the Mercury dime. The thing is that they don't usually have as much silver in them. But the dimes themselves just couldn't be more awesome. So we've got a little twist in one right there. See a little twist? It's alright. Still a Mercury dime that's worth at least a mil, that's for sure. Can't even see the... Just look at that on that loop for a minute. 1937, I thought it might have said 17 on it. Oh, look at that, some nice Mercuries, huh? Very nice. Alright. Pretty cool. So we have $10, $20, $30, $40. The two dimes make 50. Alright. What's this tone guy? Was that one we looked at already? 62. Alright, so why don't we now go ahead and open up this package and see what's in here. And there should be $5 face in there. So why don't we open this up. And before we mix it up, let's count it. We can look at everything later, but let's just see. Let's count it first. There's $1. There's a barber quarter in there too. There's $1, $2, $3 and quarters. Nope. 3.25. Probably one more in there. Yep, 3.50. Let's count the dimes. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, $1, $1.50. So that works out to $5 space. Alright, so let's see what we have here. We got SLQ. It does have a date on it. Can we read that date? 1927. Okay. Got a barber here. I don't have any barber quarters. It looks like a 1903. It's pretty slicked out, but there's a barber quarter. We'll just leave the Washingtons here. This is another 1927. Let me zoom in a little bit on that. Yep, 1927. Pretty circulated there, folks, but still an old classic American quarter. Alright. Let's look at another one here. This is a, see a date on it? 1930. I don't know if I have a 1930. So that's cool, but again, pretty slicked. Let's look at our final SLQ. It's 1927, so it looks like we got three 1927s. 1930. Oh, here's another one. This is a 1926. I think the mint mark on these are down in this corner. I don't see any mint mark. So that makes 5 SLQs. That's probably about half of what I own total on my SLQs. Makes one Barber, 1903. And the rest are Washingtons. Let me zoom back out here again. And let's look at some of these dimes. There's some Barber dimes in here. This is a, I'll zoom back in to look at these. Let me get it to focus first. Oh, it's not focusing. Anyway, 1906. And we have a 1903. And we have 1900. Pretty bad shape. See, and this feels really thin. If you compare this to a Roosevelt, you can really feel the difference on these things. Probably can't see it, but yeah, that's why, you know, as a stacker, they don't have as much silver in them as I'd like them to have, that's for sure, but they're still pretty cool. 1911. And then we also have a 1901. So how many was that? Was that 5? Yep, we got 5 Barbers. And we have 1, 2, let me zoom back out so you can see what I'm doing. 5 Barbers. And we have 1, this is a nice looking Mercury. Looks to be in pretty good shape. Not focusing. There we go, 1944. Alright, so all these Mercuries are nice. There's 3. So 3 Mercuries and 1, 2, 6, 7. Yeah, that's right, 7 Rosies. 3 Mercuries, that makes 10. And 5 Barbers. Alright, so we do have it. We have a total of $55 face. I don't need to leave these separate now because I just wanted to count, make sure they're all there. Put some of these on top for the thumbnail. Get the Barber up there. Put these dimes back over here. Let's get some Barber dimes on top. Of course, they're pretty slicked out. And a couple of these nice Mercuries will look pretty good on top too. So there you go. So we have $55 face. And I bet you guys can calculate for me what I paid for these things because I've been paying the same amount for a long time. So let's do some numbers here. Let me go over to my desktop, pull up my calculator. Alright, let's go over and check it out. So desktop, we have the calculator, and let's figure out how much silver we have first. What we want to do is multiply 55 times 0.715, and that means we have 39.33 ounces of silver. So in this stack of silver, we have 39.33 ounces. And you know, some people might say, no, you got less than that because you got some slicks in there, but all these other quarters, I weighed out my quarters in a few videos ago, and they were BU quality. So these quarters far outweigh these few dimes. and quarters that are here. So we know that we've got, I'd bet we have over 40 ounces of silver here. But anyway, by the numbers, which is how we always do it, we have 39.33 ounces of silver. All right. If we take what I paid for it, which was $550, so 10 times, so it's $55 times 10, and we divide that by 39.33, we paid $13.98 per troy ounce. $13.98 per troy ounce. So yeah, so 39 ounces, a little more than 39 ounces at $13.98 per ounce. And so right now, as I look on JM Bullion's site, silver is 17.88. So if we minus 13.98, you can see here that we saved $3.90 per troy ounce. So we saved almost $4 an ounce. And when you're doing that for times 39.3 ounces, so we saved $153.39 off of paying spot. So wow, pretty cool, huh? That is just an awesome pickup for sure. So yeah, $13.98 we paid per ounce. And that, my friends, is a fantastic deal. Just love picking this up for a deal. All right, and for those of you who want to hang around and see an update to my quarter box, I'm going to go ahead and count out these quarters, get them in some tubes. I'll throw them into my quarter box. All right, so for now I'll start with four tubes because I know I got at least that. Let me get the dimes out of here. I'll do the dimes later. But let's do let's get the quarters out of here and stacked up. So it might be possible for me to maybe speed up this video a little bit. I don't know. Sometimes it's fun just having fun touching and holding these beautiful pieces of American history. I really enjoy it. And I'm going to put the SLQs and the Barber into different tubes. They're not part of my, I gotta keep those separate. So quarters should be pretty quick to get together. So then we have 4, 8, so $2, $3.50. If you remember, that's how much was in that bag, was $3.50 worth of quarters and then $1.50 worth of dimes. All right, so why don't we get these into the tubes? This shouldn't take long. Now these Numis tubes, they're kind of cheap. They're great for the box, but they're kind of hard to open if you just try to pull them open. But the little trick is if you turn them off the top and just pop the top. Alright, so I don't really care how they go in there. I just need to get 40 of them in there, create a tube. And there we go. I usually like to put the heads on top. Easy to see. There's one. Let's get these in here. You can see how full those are in the tube. That's how you know there's not a lot of wear on them. They fill those tubes right to the top. Here's tube number 3. Okay, there's tube number 3. Let's do the final tube. Get them in there. Take that last one and flip it over. Alright, 4 tubes. We still have all these dimes that we need to go in the dime box, but for now we're doing the quarter box. Alright, so before I get the quarter box out, I like to make sure I don't have a 5th tube based on some of my extras. So what I do is I keep ongoing roll. So I would take these and put it in this tube. This is the Washingtons. And if it filled it up, I would get another tube out and I'd start another one of these. But we can see here, and then we have, these are my SLQs, and these are my Barbers. Alright, so So what we'll do is just take these and throw them in here. So I probably need about maybe another 7 or 8, maybe 10. Then I'll have another roll here. And I'll take my SLQs. And again, this is, I might have a roll in a box somewhere from a time ago. Really, 3, 6, 7. That's all I have. Again, I don't purposely try to collect them though either. I actually prefer not to get them. But it's alright if I get a few once in a while. So put in another 5. So we have 12 in there. I got a dozen of them. And these are my barbers. And they're not in very good shape. Pretty standard barbers. These are some old used coins for sure. But don't have a problem with them because I love old American coinage. It's just I'm a silver stacker and I like to stack. So there's really 3 different quarters that I have. Barbers, the Standing Liberty, and the Washingtons. And I've got two ongoing tubes like this for the dimes. I've got a Mercury and a Roosevelt tube going as well. And you know, 15 of these fill up that tube. I'll get another tube out to put it in. I'll put it in the dime box. So that's how I track those. So why don't we pull these dimes aside. Of course, I just moved them all on the screen a minute ago. Let's move these over a little bit. Lift my camera up a little bit. And let's take a look at this box. Now, this is a Guardhouse box. They are orange. Looks a little red on my camera, but it is orange. And we'll see where we're at. And you can see these take 50 tubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Times 5, that's 50 tubes. So it would be $500 face. And I will just say this is my current box. This isn't my only box. I'm just going to leave it there. Just like I have partial tubes going, I have partial boxes going too. So this is my current box. And we will just leave it right there for now. Alright. So we're going to take these 4 tubes, put them in there. Alright. So how many do we have? So if I do something with a roll, I'll usually just mark the top of it. This says 1940s. And I put it on with a piece of tape. I don't like to, mark up my tubes permanently. So you can see here, I just wrote on a piece of tape and stuck it on there. Then I could reuse that tube if I needed to. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 23. So there's $230 a face because each roll is $10. So that's pretty cool, huh? And again, I just bought some more of these Numis tubes. And again, like I told you, they're pretty cheap and flimsy, but they fit perfectly in here. You can see they're level with the box top. So these other ones that I have, that if I run out of Numis, I just bought some more Numis tubes here recently. So like this is a quality quarter. In fact, it's better. It's nice and hard and stable. But if I put it in this box, you can see it's taller than the rest. Doesn't fit quite as well. So I like to stay uniform and consistent, and that's why I use the Numis tubes. They all look the same. It's very purty looking. So what do you think, huh? Nice. $230 face. Got this thing rolling along. And the Guardhouse box is on its way. Now, that is the quarters. How would you guys like me to do the dimes? I don't know. Is the video getting too long? Can always fast forward. We can do the same process with the dimes. So you want to do that? Dimes will take me a little bit longer to count up because they're tiny and harder to handle. Alright, so why don't we go ahead and do the dimes. So we know that we have at least 2 rolls here, plus a few extra that may or may not fit in my tube. So just like the quarters, I actually have 3 rolls on the tubes as well for the dimes, right? I have the Mercuries. This one is almost full. So we'll see if out of this I get actually another roll. I don't know how many are in there, but we were probably going to have to count them. I have a tube with started for Rosie's. Kind of hard to see. Yep, it's Roosevelt's. And then I have a tube here, and again, this is all the Barbers I have, the Barber dimes. But I've got one started for Barbers as well. So this is kind of just like my working section here. So we'll put these right here for now. Let's put them down so we can see them in all their glory. So this time I'm going to show you the box up front because I need the tubes. These ones I store the extra tubes inside the box. So Guardhouse box is this light green, olive green kind of color. And again, I'm just going to say this is my working box, not necessarily my only box. This is almost full now because I keep my empty ones in here. You can see I'm getting excited because I only have 7 more tubes to fill to have this complete box full, and there is 50 in here as well. Let's push it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 50 rolls, 50 tubes. But because they're $5 each instead of 10, then it means there's $250 facing that 500 like the quarters. So let's go ahead and get out. We know we have at least 2 rolls of dimes. So let's get those out. And again, these are the same flimsy, kind of cheap Numis tubes. But I like them, and they're not very expensive to buy. Because these go in the box, and they stay in the box. So let's move that out of the way for a moment. And again, I'll get these lids open. And these are going to take a little bit of an effort to count, because I put the Mercs and Roosevelt's in different boxes. So give me a moment here. And 50. We have the leftovers from the ones that we picked up. And just to kind of double count, remember we had 15 extra dimes. We had $3.50 in quarters and $1.50 in dimes. So if we pull these together, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it's just reassurance that these are probably all counted out right and put away right. All right, so before we pull the dime box back over, let's put these away. Now, because Mercury's can be so much less than Roosevelt's, I'm going to count these and see how many I have. There's 3, 6, 9, 13. Again, you got to watch your eyes. 16, that's 20, 23, 27, 31, 34, 38, 41, 42, 44, 48. So I'm 2 dimes short from having another tube. So you can see with all these together, I would clearly have another tube in my dime box, but I'm keeping them separated by type. All right. So let's take the Barbers. Let's put them in here. Help to get that roll. Coins, still away from having a full roll of Berbers. And then the Roosevelts, which I get quite a few of, but this is my partial roll. So as you guys know, I do live streams every Monday with Mrs. TB and give away a lot of silver. So if I wasn't doing that, I'd clearly have another roll of Mercuries to put away, but give those things away during the live stream. It does deplete your inventory, there's no doubt about it. Alrighty, so let's pull this over. Put in these two rolls, and for a while there I was marking whether or not they're Mercuries or Roosevelts, but I haven't been doing that. It's not really that important. You can usually tell though, you can see the color. The Roosevelts are usually the more silver. You can tell by how far down the tube, because Mercuries always have a lot less silver in them because they're more war. So if we were to flip these upside down, can you see that the Roosevelts, how much higher they are than the Mercuries? There's probably about a 3 dime difference. It's kind of hard to tell. But yeah, you can see it here though too. See how well, let's take the lids off. That's one way to look. Okay, see how high up in the tube the Roosevelts are and how low the Mercuries are? It's kind of hard to tell because that top Rosie is kind of dark, but yeah, there's about a 3 dime difference in there. They both have 50, but there's so much more wear on the Mercury dimes that they're sitting down in that tube quite a bit more. So you can see, as you kind of just scan along here, you can kind of tell what's Mercury. Mercury, probably a Mercury. What's a Rosie? You know, if you get a nice tube of Mercuries, they're going to come up there pretty high, but Mercury, that just means I checked those ones. I was, the other night, I just decided to spot check one of my rolls, and I ended up pulling out 2 of them and put them in flips. So 26, 17, I think that's actually 26S. I mislabeled it. But yeah, so I figured, let's go through a roll and see if I find anything. I found 2 of them. In fact, if I were to take these 2 back out, I'd be able to have a full row, wouldn't I? Maybe I should just throw them in there and do all my searching through them later. I don't know. That would give me only 4 more rolls if I put that one in there. Boy, that is tempting for sure. Alright, so this video's gone on pretty long, but I think it was, could kind of show what I got and how I store them and how I put them away and how I track my stuff. So yeah, only 5 tubes away from having another dime box full. So that is really, really cool. And I love the dimes because I think the dimes are the ultimate fractional silver. I have no problem having some dimes. And I think that, if you're going to sell them, you only have to, someone wants to buy them, instead of having to come up with enough money for $10 face, I can come up with enough for $5 face. And might make it easier to get them in somebody's hands that want them but don't have a whole lot of money. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I appreciate you watching. And always remember, let's keep talking bullion.